I had always joked about my solitary life. Friends were few, family distant, and my apartment on the outskirts of the city was more bunker than home. I would sip my lukewarm coffee and mutter to myself, "At least no one's around to annoy me." Laughing about being alone had become my armor. I didn't realize it would become the very phrase that summoned beings from a star system light years away, alien sisters whose intentions I could not yet fathom. It all started on a Tuesday night. The sky was unusually clear, dotted with stars that shone with an intensity one had never noticed before. My balcony, cluttered with old chairs and a stack of dusty books, gave me a perfect vantage point. I was muttering my usual self-deprecating line, "Alone forever, at least I'm safe," when the air around me vibrated. A subtle hum, like the low-pitched echo of a bell, wrapped around my chest and shoulders. The hum was warm but insistent, tugging me toward the edge of reality I hadn't yet understood. I laughed nervously. What the hell now? Before I could process the sensation, a column of translucent light shot up from the alley below, bathing the balcony in an unearthly glow. My legs moved of their own accord, and I found myself stepping into it. Panic spiked, but the hum comforted me as if whispering, "Trust." In a blink, the familiar cityscape dissolved. I landed softly on a surface that seemed alive, shimmering beneath a lavender sky. Jagged, crystalline structures rose like trees in the distance, pulsating with a rhythm that felt biological, not mineral. I wasn't scared. Well, not entirely, because an inexplicable sense of belonging had begun to replace fear. "Welcome," a melodic voice spoke, echoing in multiple tones around me. I spun around to find them, 3 figures floating just above the ground. Their forms were humanoid yet ethereal, with elongated limbs and shimmering skin that shifted through hues of blue, violet, and silver. Their eyes were luminous, each a constellation of swirling lights. I froze, unsure if I should run or bow. "We've been waiting," said the tallest, her voice layered in a way that suggested both authority and curiosity. "Waiting for me?" I asked, half laughing. "I'm not even important." "You spoke of being alone," another voice said, softer but no less compelling. Your laughter resonated across the void. "It is rare, this combination of solitude and mirth. You have been chosen." I blinked. Chosen for what? The sisters exchanged glances, a silent communication beyond my comprehension.
"To see.
"To understand."
To belong," said the third.
Her words carried weight, a promise and a challenge wrapped together. Before I could respond, they extended hands toward me, and a sudden flood of images and sensations overtook my mind. I saw stars forming, civilizations rising and falling, and a deep, pulsating network of energy connecting every living being in ways humans had never imagined. The experience was overwhelming, almost too vast for my consciousness to contain, yet I didn't collapse. Instead, I laughed. It was involuntary, a nervous, incredulous laugh that turned into real joy. This is insane," I whispered. "You are ready," the first sister said. "You may call us Lyra, Vessa, and Caliph. Together, we are the sisters of Elira. Together, you will understand what your world cannot yet comprehend." The sisters guided me through their realm, a city of crystalline towers and floating bridges. Gravity seemed flexible here, bending gently as we moved. The air was thick with colors I couldn't name and smells that felt like memories I had never lived. I realized I could hear their thoughts as clearly as my own voice. Lyra's curiosity, Vessa's caution, Calith's playful amusement, they flowed into me, mingling with my own. "Why me?" I asked one evening, sitting on a bridge that overlooked a river of liquid light. I'm nothing special. I've never done anything heroic. You have, Lyra said, her hand brushing mine, and the touch was both electric and tender. You laughed at loneliness. You embraced solitude without bitterness. That is a rare strength. Many fear being alone. Few celebrate it. It calls to us. I shivered at the intimacy of the words. I guess I never thought of it that way. Vesa floated closer, her translucent hair swirling like smoke. In our society, we do not choose randomly. We sense potential, resonance. Your soul vibrates in harmony with ours, in ways even you do not yet perceive. Calith's laugh, a melodic trill that seemed to ripple through the air, broke the momentary solemnity. And besides, you are amusing. We do love amusement. I laughed again, more freely this time. For the first time in my life, I felt like someone, not just someone, but part of something. The sisters began to teach me their ways. They introduced me to their bioluminescent libraries, where thoughts floated as living texts. They showed me how to manipulate energy through intention, a skill that allowed me to shape matter in subtle ways. It wasn't magic, it was science on a scale my human mind could barely comprehend. I discovered I could sense others' emotions, not just the sisters', and sometimes even glimpse flashes of possible futures. Days, or what passed for days in their realm, blended together. I lost count of time, but I wasn't lonely. Never lonely again. Lyra often guided me in meditation, Vesa in focus, Calith in playfulness. They were demanding teachers, but their encouragement was gentle, their patience infinite. And always there was the hum, the resonance of belonging. One night, as I lay on a terrace under a sky of swirling auroras, I whispered into the air, I never thought I'd be wanted like this. By anyone, let alone aliens. You are wanted, Lyra said, her hand brushing my hair.
By us.
By the universe. By existence itself. I blinked, feeling tears I hadn't expected. It feels overwhelming. Vesa placed a luminous hand on my shoulder. It should. Greatness often is. Calith tilted her head, eyes glittering like twin galaxies. And yet you laugh. That is why you were chosen. Laughter is proof that even in vastness, you retain yourself. I smiled through my tears, realizing she was right. My laughter, the thing I had always thought of as trivial, had marked me as extraordinary. Weeks passed, or maybe months. I learned to fly through their skies, guided by currents of light and sound. I tasted energy, feeling it shift beneath my fingers. I navigated the mind network of their civilization, understanding their histories, their fears, their joys. And always, the sisters were near, teaching, laughing, guiding. Then came the day I understood what it truly meant to be chosen. The sisters led me to the core of Elira, a structure that pulsed with the rhythm of countless stars. Inside, I felt the universe itself as a living entity, aware and sentient. Here, Lyra said, her voice echoing with reverence, you will merge a part of yourself with the essence of our world. You will become a guardian, a witness, a bridge between your kind and ours. I hesitated. The magnitude of the responsibility terrified me. What if I fail? You won't, Vesa said softly, because you have already succeeded. In choosing laughter, in embracing yourself, you have proven worthy. Calith smiled, her eyes twinkling. Besides, if you fail, we have an infinite amount of time to try again. I laughed nervously, and then courage blossomed within me. I stepped forward. The core enveloped me, and a torrent of knowledge, emotion, and energy surged through me. I felt every star, every life, every heartbeat in the cosmos. It was blissful and overwhelming, terrifying and exhilarating. I was no longer just human. I was something more. When I emerged, I was changed. Not in appearance, I still looked like myself, but in essence. I could sense life across galaxies, feel the threads of fate and choice, and communicate without words. The sisters smiled at me, and I realized I had never truly seen their faces before, only the light they projected. Now, I saw their joy, pride, and love reflected in their forms. "You are ours," Lyra said simply. "And we are yours," I replied. And I meant it. Life with the sisters was not just about power or knowledge. It was about belonging, laughter, and understanding. Even as I occasionally thought of Earth, of my quiet apartment and lukewarm coffee, I no longer felt loneliness. That version of me, so afraid, so isolated, was gone. I laughed one evening as we floated above a lake of liquid light, Caliph twirling in the air beside me. "I can't believe I thought being alone was a curse." "It isn't a curse," Bessa said. "It is the prelude to choice. You chose to embrace life, even in solitude. That choice resonated far beyond your world." I nodded, smiling. I never thought my laugh would echo across the stars. "Few do," Lyra replied. "Few have the courage to laugh at themselves, and even fewer to answer the call when the universe notices." As I gazed at the endless sky, I understood what being chosen truly meant. It wasn't just about power or wisdom or knowledge. It was about being recognized, celebrated, and connected in ways that transcended species, planet, and reality itself. I was no longer alone. I had been claimed, not in possession, but in profound recognition by beings who saw the essence of my soul. And so I laughed again, a full, unabashed, cosmic laugh that echoed across dimensions, a laugh that affirmed everything I had feared and yet hoped for. The sisters joined me, their voices blending in harmony with mine, and for the first time, I knew that solitude had been nothing but the beginning of belonging. I had laughed about being alone. And then the alien sisters made me their chosen. The universe had smiled. After I had been embraced by the sisters and merged with the core of Elira, I began to understand the depth of what being chosen truly meant. It wasn't just about power or knowledge. It was about purpose. Every thought I had, every laugh I ever shared in my lonely apartment had echoed across the universe to reach these beings who existed on a level far beyond human comprehension. For the first time, I truly felt the interconnectedness of everything. The stars weren't just lights in the sky. They were living nodes of a cosmic network, resonating with energy that pulsed like a heartbeat. I could sense life on planets I'd never visited, feel the rhythm of ecosystems, the dreams of civilizations, the fears and hopes of beings older than time itself. And I understood. The sisters had chosen me because I could feel, not because I was strong or special in the human sense. I had laughed at my own loneliness, and that honesty, that joy, had made me worthy. The sisters led me to a balcony overlooking the city of Elira. Beneath us stretched rivers of liquid light, crystalline spires stretching toward the aurora-filled sky. I could feel the hum of the entire world beneath my feet, the collective consciousness of the sisters, and the core's life-giving pulse. Lyra, Vessa, and Caliph hovered beside me, their faces shimmering with pride and warmth. "You are ready," Lyra said, her hand brushing mine. "Ready to take your place among us, to protect, to guide, and to understand." I swallowed hard, feeling the weight of responsibility. I don't know if I can do it. All of this, it's overwhelming." "You can," Vessa said gently, placing a luminous hand on my shoulder. "You have already done it. You embraced solitude, found laughter in emptiness, and answered the call. That is more than most beings ever achieve. Caliph smiled mischievously. And if you falter, we'll be there to catch you. After all, chosen or not, you are still one of us. I laughed softly, a tear sliding down my cheek. I never thought being alone could lead me here. You are never truly alone, Lyra said, her eyes glowing like twin stars. You just hadn't realized it yet. For a long moment, I stood there, gazing at the glowing rivers below, feeling the hum of Elira, feeling the sisters' presence intertwined with my own. Then, with a deep breath, I stepped forward and extended my hands. Energy surged from me, responding to their presence, connecting me with the core, with Elira, with the sisters. I felt a profound joy unlike anything I had ever known. The sisters joined hands with me, forming a circle of light. Our laughter echoed across the city, across the universe. For the first time, I truly understood what it meant to belong, to be chosen, and to be part of something infinitely larger than myself. Days, or what I perceived as days, passed as I trained, explored, and lived fully among the sisters. I learned to manipulate energy, navigate the minds of other beings, and glimpse glimpses of possible futures. I laughed, cried, and marveled at the vastness of existence. And every evening, I returned to that balcony, watching the auroras shimmer and feeling the pulse of the universe beneath my feet. Then came a night when I realized something profound. My connection to Earth had not faded. I could sense my city, my apartment, the loneliness I had once joked about. But it no longer held fear. Instead, it was a thread linking me to the life I had once known, a reminder that my journey had begun in solitude and laughter. I could carry that part of myself forever, a human anchor within the cosmic infinity I now inhabited. I turned to the sisters. I understand now, I whispered. Being chosen isn't about power or glory. It's about connection. It's about recognizing who you truly are and sharing that with those who see your soul. They smiled, their forms radiant with light. And you, are chosen, will guide others to this understanding. You will laugh, even in the darkness, and others will hear. That is your gift. I laughed, a deep, joyous, liberating sound that echoed across dimensions. The sisters joined me, their laughter harmonizing with mine, and for the first time, I felt complete. Not powerful, not perfect, but alive, seen and loved. As I gazed at the glowing city of Elira, I realized something. My journey had begun with solitude, but it had led to connection, purpose, and cosmic belonging. I was no longer a human laughing alone on a balcony. I was part of something eternal, luminous, and infinite. The sisters had chosen me, yes, but in truth, I had chosen this life too, by embracing myself fully, even in my loneliness. And in that moment, under the aurora-filled skies of an alien world, I laughed again. Not at being alone, not at fear, but at the sheer joy of being alive, seen and chosen. The universe had smiled, and I had found my place within it.